Hello, this is Sarah and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how to make a giant paper daisy out of cardstock paper. Perfect for backdrops, for weddings, birthday parties, and more. Please like this video below and subscribe to my channel. All the materials will be linked below the video along with the template for Cricut, Silhouette, or other cutting machines, and a printout for hand cutting for those that don't have a cutting machine. First, you'll need to cut the center fringes, and we need 8 total, and I cut 2 per letter size paper, so you'll need a total of 4 sheets of paper of yellow cardstock paper for the fringes. Then fold them in half and you'll see the fringes on one side. If you're hand cutting these, you'll need to fold half a strip of paper and cut fringes on the folded end. Then take one piece and roll up and glue every so often so it doesn't unravel. Then one rolled up should fit inside the coupler that will fit your PVC pipe, which will be for the standing stem. You could also make these without the coupler and have them directly attach onto a wall as a wall backdrop. But if you want them to stand on its own, you'll need to add this onto the coupler, and the base and stem part will be after the flower tutorial. After adding the first piece in the middle of the coupler, add the rest of the fringes around the coupler on the outside and glue all 8 pieces. I'm using an old coupler from one of my trial flowers, so don't mind the random pink parts of this coupler. Next, shape back the fringes and open them up starting from the outer layer. You could also do more or less fringes, and I honestly felt like I could have doubled the amount of fringes, but I think this 8 was good enough. If you are doing a bigger petal than the 8x11 that I am suggesting on this video, you'll need to do more fringes, which is the next part. I am using letter size paper, and I'm cutting them in increments of 4 sheets of paper stacked. You could cut this through the cutting machine, but when I am cutting this many petals, I like to just cut one piece out and use it as my stencil to cut the rest. And if you don't have a cutting machine, you could just print out your template and cut this by hand. I do cut 2 of the shapes on each paper, so cut your first 4 petals with the stack of paper and cut another set of 4 on the leftover paper. Then with the leftover, I also cut this small thin leaf shape. You'll need a total of 24 petals and 12 of the thin leaf shapes. And if you cut 2 petals per sheet of paper like I suggested, you'll need a total of 12 sheets of paper. Next, take the 4 stack of 4, and with the pile, I roll up like a cylinder to shape the petals. And I also make creases going down the middle and 1 on each side in between, so it should have 3 creases going down the petal. Then I bring back the top part of the petal to curl them out. Do this to all your petals. Then keep working in increments of 4 and start gluing the petals. I do the first 4 like a letter T or X and make them perpendicular to each other. I glue the tip of the petal a little on the coupler and a little bit on the yellow bottom of the fringes. The next 4 I'll be gluing to the right side of the first 4, and it should still have some room for the next set of 4. You'll need to glue a total of 12 around the circle. It doesn't have to be perfectly going around the circle, but just to be mindful that we want to fit 12 on here. For the next set of 12, I add a short piece of floral wire, and I use this white glue that I'll be linking below. And I do have a discount code for this glue, so don't forget to use the code Sarah Kim. I add the wire in between and glue the leaf-like shape on top. This will be on the bottom of the petal, and the wires should help hold up the leaves up, and it also helps with shaping the petals without making it droop down. Add the wire onto the last set of these 12 petals. Next, add the 12 petals with the wire right behind the first layer of 12, but crisscross and make sure the petals are going in between the 2 petals from the first layer and go around the circle. Then cut the leftover wire and have your leaves cut and ready for the next part. Glue the bottom leaves. I like to add 5 on the bottom, but you could add more or less to cover up any messiness, and finish off the back side. Next will be the leaves we put on the side of the stem. Glue the leaf-like shape and add floral wire and glue to the leaf, and I have 2 different versions for this. The next part, I'll be showing you my giant flower stem and base kit. You can find them linked below the video, and comes with this metal base that is nice because it is flat to the crown and collapsible. Comes with the screws so you can screw the rod, and I also provide this green paper to cover the metal. I tried painting it before, but it just chips off the metal, so this paper works fine. And you could add the grass bundle if you want and add your pipe. The pipe that I provide will be flexible, and it's flexible, but it also holds the shape once you shape it. But I will also show you how to DIY this. This part will be for the base of the giant paper flower so it could stand on its own, and the stem. I like to use the Rapid Set Cement All, and I haven't really experimented with other types of concrete. This one has a light gray finish and smooths on its own. Comes in a smaller box if you want to only make a couple, or a bigger bag if you want to make a lot of stands. I'll be using plastic plant saucers that you can find in the plant section as our mold, and I'm using an 8-inch size, but there are bigger sizes if you want to add multiple flowers in one base. I use duct tape to guide my 3/4 coupler of my 3/4 inch PVC pipe. That will be my stem, so that it will come apart to transport in a car. If you are using a different size PVC pipe, get the matching coupler. Add duct tape on only one end of the coupler. These will be found at Home Depot, Lowe's, or on Amazon, and I'll try my best to link all of this below the video. Make sure you are being safe and wear gloves and a mask so you don't breathe in the fine dust, and safety goggles when working with this. I used about 6 scoops of these disposable plastic cups, but I like to work in small increments. If you do a lot at a time, it is harder to mix. You will also have to be quick so it doesn't set while you mix. Then add a little bit of water as you go and mix until you get a pancake consistency. Add more concrete if you need to thicken it. Fill up until you cover just the bottom and add your coupler. I have my coupler connected with a small PVC pipe just so I could hold it on the top. Then fill up a little more until right below the coupler ends. It should take a couple hours to fully set, so while we wait for that, we will now get the stems ready with PVC pipe. I got a pan, ladle, and funnel from a thrift store that I designated for this and not used for cooking. Then you can find playground sand outside, or actually buy a bag of sand. I like to have enough to fill up the pan so I could work on multiple at a time, but if you are only making one, you could just use a little more than your PVC pipe could hold. Heat it up until you feel the sand is too hot to touch. Then tape one end of the PVC pipe with duct tape, and the other side use a funnel and ladle to scoop your sand into the pipe. Then fill to the top and close it up with duct tape. And on the ground, you could shape your desired shape. This will look a little different from each flower, so shape accordingly. You could use heat gun or even a blow dryer, but I felt the heated sand gave me the most even heat without kinking the pipe. Then take the sand back out. Once you have the pipe shaped and ready, add your leaves onto the middle of the stem with masking tape and cover the leftover wire with the masking tape. Then I use green crepe paper that I will be linking below to cover the stem. Cut a couple strips of crepe paper and stretch the paper. Then I add this white glue and start on the top of the stem, but roll down the stem, and it should go in an angle as you go down the pipe. I like to stretch the paper and try to tightly mold the paper onto the pipe. Then when you get to where the leaves are, try your best to cover right up to the leaf and cover the tape underneath and go down the stem to the bottom. Lastly, add your daisy on top, and I think they will pair well with my other giant paper flowers. So check out my other tutorials with giant paper flowers. I have this giant hyacinth in my workspace that's definitely one of my favorites, and they will be perfect for backdrops for weddings, birthday parties, and more. Please like this video below and subscribe. Thank you for watching.